On the news this morning, organised labour withdraws plan to embark on strike over petrol subsidy removal. Health workers suspend indefinite strike. EFCC raids estate in Port Harcourt. Court sentences pastor to death by hanging for murder. New Speaker of Rivers State House of Assembly, Martin Zameole, promises Rivers people laws that will bring about dividends of democracy. President Tinubu holds another closed-door meeting with former governors. On the foreign scene, former U.S. Vice President Mike Pence to launch his presidential campaign today. Peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. I am Ifeemi Andrew. The Nigeria Labour Congress says it will no longer proceed with its nationwide strike plan for tomorrow. The decision was part of resolutions announced by the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, and confirmed by the President of the National Labour Congress, Joe Ajaero, after a nearly 6-hour meeting between the federal government and organised labour at the presidential villa in Abuja. Reading the resolution of the meeting, Mr. Gbajabiamila said organised labour and the federal government also agreed to set up a joint committee to review proposals for wage increase in the World Bank-assisted cash transfer to include low-income workers. Similarly, they are to review the compressed natural gas conversion program, study challenges to quality education delivery, and work to improve road and rail infrastructure through established timelines. Aside from working to establish a framework to complete the maintenance of the nation's refineries, both parties agreed to reconvene on June 19 to further agree on implementing the framework.
All of the demands submitted by the TUC to the federal government will be assessed by the joint committee. So consequently, the parties agreed as follows. 1. The NLC is to suspend the notice of strike forthwith to enable further consultations. 2. The TUC and the NLC to continue the ongoing engagements with the federal government and secure closure on the resolutions above. And finally, the labor centers and the federal government to meet on June 19, 2023 to agree on an implementation framework.
NLC President Joe Ajaero and Trade Union Congress TUC's Festus Osifo agreed to the resolution. They were, however, unspecific with regards to demands for the reversal of the increase in petrol pump price. The NLC President, however, called for the political will to achieve an alternative to petrol.
I think the whole battle we are having now is the issue of the cost being at 500. And by our last meeting during Silver's time, we are talking about 90 naira. If this government achieves an option or alternative that is even under 90 or 120 or whatever, I think everyone will be clapping for them. So what we need is the willpower. And if we achieve that, I think there will be, a lot of success, a lot of progress so made. I believe that what we need is for them to work unlike what we experienced before. By now, we should have gone far.
On his part, TUC President General Festus Osifo urged the government to keep to the agreement.
We from Labour, all we want to encourage government is to take this seriously because this government is just coming. This may be the first agreement that is being signed by this government that was inaugurated on May 29. So I want us to commit to get these issues resolved as soon as possible. So for us, Labour, we are totally committed to get these issues resolved for the benefit of the entire Nigerians.
Monday's engagement was the third in a series of meetings between the government and key labour stakeholders after the President, Bola Tinubu, announced the end of petrol subsidy exactly 1 week ago. Yesterday, the federal government secured an interim order stopping NLC from embarking on the strike. Justice O.Y. Anuwe gave an interim injunction restraining the NLC and the TUC from going on strike until the determination of the motion on notice. The judge then adjourned the matter for hearing till 19th June. Earlier, some residents of Port Harcourt called on the NLC not to go back on its decision. Others say the strike will not yield results.
NLC going on strike makes no meaning because the strike cannot last forever. They will definitely call it off. The fuel subsidy has been removed. It has been removed.
Nobody is saying removal of fuel subsidy is bad, but the president just came up in a spur of moment and announced it without looking at the effectiveness of it. But my prayer is the labor union should not wake up by morning of Wednesday and tell us that the strike has been put on hold.
I think the federal government should go further by ensuring that our own refineries will be functional enough, because I believe that if fuel is refined in large quantity here in Nigeria, the cost will reduce from where it is now to a bearable minimum. But if the subsidies are allowed to remain, it will be discouraging local refining of crude. But it's unfortunate that it's causing a lot of hardship and we have to bear it at the moment.
Meanwhile, the joint health sector unions have suspended their indefinite strike for 21 days after a meeting with President Bola Tinubu. The acting National Secretary Matthew Ajirotu, who made this known, said the president promised to approve their demands. Moving on. Online reports say the EFCC raided the Golf Estate in Port Harcourt yesterday. A video showed several vehicles in the estate and another showed a damaged door with stories of how suspected fraudsters who live in the estate act irrationally. The EFCC is expected to speak on this. A state high court in Port Harcourt has sentenced to death the general overseer of the Altar of Solution and Healing Assembly, Chidiebere Okorafor, for murder. Pastor Okorafor was standing trial for killing his choir mistress, Uloma Onweagba, whom he allegedly impregnated. He also faced murder charges for the killing of Uloma's friend, Adachi Gozie Ezenwa, and her 11-month-old daughter, Christabel Ezenwa, on the 11th of December 2017. Late Uloma and her friend had visited the pastor's house in Oigbo for a discussion on the said pregnancy when the incident occurred. The trial judge, Justice S.O. Benson, sentenced Pastor Chidiebere Okorafor to death by hanging. He said evidence before the court shows that the pastor killed the women. Joseph Ezenwa, widower of Ada Ezenwa Chigozie, in an interview with correspondent Emeka Otiga, thanked the court for upholding justice on the matter.
I thank God today, and also I will not fail to thank Rivers State government, thank the police, state CID. I thank the former FIDA chairperson, Barrister Antonia Osademe, who assigned Mrs. Barrister Consilia Odageri Emononzo to this matter till this moment, and I thank Rivers State Minister of Justice, the judge too. Before, I don't used to believe in judgment, but today I believe, and I thank God for all God have done today. At least my wife can go and rest. My daughter Christabel, a little child who have not committed offense to anybody, 11 months baby, she can rest today.
The State Prosecuting Counsel, Precious Odu, also spoke on the judgment.
First and foremost, I will thank the Almighty God for giving us the strength, even when we had a series of threats. But it will serve as a deterrent to all the persons that intend to commit the same offense, because it's really a justice for all. We are happy today that this judgment was given in favor of the states.
Former chairperson of the International Federation of Women Lawyers, FIDA, Antonia Osademe, and a FIDA representative in the matter, Consilia Enwereozo, also spoke.
It was my tenure when the matter started, and to ensure that justice is done to the late woman, the child involved, and the man, because justice is in trade traffic. We followed up as FIDA to ensure that obviously all the necessary things were done, and I made sure I followed up with police and brought it to the Ministry of Justice for the proper prosecution. And today, I am very happy
that justice have been met, and we are also so happy that people outside will know that there are lawyers that can do matter pro bono without demanding for any money.
However, Innocent Eku, lawyer to Pastor Chidiebere Okorafor, said they will appeal the judgment.
Today, the State High Court delivered judgment convicting him of murder and then applied the provision for murder, and that is that he will die by hanging or by injection. We, as the counsel to the defendants, we have decided to appeal the case, and we are going to file our notice of appeal as quickly as possible, because we have grounds which we verily believed that the defendant did not commit the offense, and that the trial court misapprehended the facts and also misconceived the law.
In another development, a young man, Chukwuebuka Julius, who was reported missing in Port Harcourt 2 months ago, has been found. The 25-year-old Julius, who is an interior decorator, had gone to evaluate his site for a job in Choba, Obiakpo local government area of Rivers State, but was reportedly abducted around Wimpy axis. His boss, Prestige Chituru Ikechi, told our correspondent that Mr. Julius was found in Anambra State alongside other victims, numbering about 20.
So they wanted to move them from that point they were to another location. So that early in the morning they were moving them. They now encountered a vigilante group. Before they knew it, fight ensued between them, and then they started firing shots against each other. So while they were fighting, he removed the blindfold and then tapped some persons who were inside the vehicle with him too. They now opened the vehicle and ran into the bush. From the bush, he now sighted somebody. He decided to approach the person to tell the person that he lost his phone, that he should please give him his own phone so that he will be able to make call. Eventually, he was able to get that of his sister. The sister now came to meet me. That was how we traveled down to Anambra that early in the morning to go and get him.
3 members of some notorious gangs terrorizing the Aouda East and West local government area of Rivers State have been killed by policemen from the Aouda division in Udebo community. It was gathered that the leader of one of the gangs, Ikechukwu Uturu, also known as Old School from Aouda East, and other members of his gang escaped with bullet wounds after they engaged the police in a gun battle. The police were able to seize several weapons from the hoodlums. Spokesperson of the River State Police Command, SP Grace Siringe Koko, confirmed the killing of the 3 gangsters. Still ahead, President Tinubu holds another closed-door meeting with former governors. Stay tuned. handling the project to match his words with action by completing the project at stipulated time. Governor Fubara said the project is dear to the government because of its importance to education and youth development. He warned other contractors handling state government projects to step up their work as they will not condone any delay. Earlier, Governor Fubara inaugurated the 10th Rivers State House of Assembly. The member representing Obiagbo Constituency 1 and former leader in the 9th Assembly, Martin Zamewule, was unanimously elected Speaker, while Dumle Mao, member representing Gokana Constituency 1, was elected Deputy Speaker. The new Speaker, Martin Zamewule, shortly after taking his oath of office and membership of the House, proceeded to swear in other members-elect. He said he will run an all-inclusive legislative chamber that puts the interest of the state first. Mr. Zamewule, who commended them for electing him, told lawmakers that they are to ensure that they put the interests of the state in their legislative duties. The new speaker also said the people of the state should expect laws that will bring the dividends of democracy to their constituencies. He said his interaction with the new lawmakers showed that the state will soon feel their impact.
The new members within the short time we met, I see so much zeal, so much enthusiasm, commitment that they have for their states. I want to assure our former members that we will not disappoint them, because I know that all of you are looking up to us to do better than you have done. What we are doing is to lay the foundation for what is to come. A new 10th Assembly that Rivers State would be proud of. Once again,
Correspondent Sebiruwari reports that the House later adjourned plenary to the 7th of June. In the meantime, the member representing Ikwere State constituency in the Rivers State House of Assembly, Lemchi Prince Nyeche, has promised to ensure purposeful representation. Mr. Nyeche said this in an interview with correspondent Emeka Otuka during a reception held in his honor at his residence in Port Harcourt.
I'm so excited by the honor done me by my constituents, because it is the first of its kind that somebody from my community is representing the good people of Ikwere local government in the Hallowed Chamber of the Rivers State House of Assembly, and I will not take this opportunity for granted. Once a legislator is a legislator, be it federal, state or local, I think with the weight of experience I've gathered during my era as councillor that represented the good people of Water Nomade Mandipo, our focal point is to ensure that Ikwere local government is given a facelift, and we must change the narratives at the legislative chambers.
The lawmaker also thanked the former governor Nyesom Wike and the chairman of Ikwere local government area Samuel Wanosike for the opportunity to serve.
I will graciously appreciate the chairman of Ikwere local government, who is also the current leader of PDP in Ikwere local government, for ensuring that I am part of this business today. I owe him that respect and honor. I also owe the immediate governor of Rivers, Chief Barrister Ezemo Nyesom Wike. We are proud to associate ourselves with him, and we are praying that God should elevate him to give him more opportunity to do more, because he has so many things in stock that he will exhibit when God takes him to a higher position. I also owe the good people of Ikwere local government that honor because of the number of votes given to me. If you look at the record, it is very clear that Ikwere local government actually voted for me, and I will not disappoint them. I'm grateful to them. I'll continue to do the needful. I will not bring shame to the office. I will change the narratives.
He assured Governor Siminalayi Fubara and the new Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, Martin Zamewule, of his support. He said the choice of Mr. Zamewule as Speaker of the House is for the overall interest of the state. President Bola Tinubu has again held a closed-door meeting with the former governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike. This is the second time the former Rivers State governor will be visiting the president in 72 hours. The president also held a meeting with the former governor of Ebonyi State, David Umahi, and Senator Godswill Akpabio. The agenda of the meeting remains unclear. In an interview with BBC Pidgin, former governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, said he will consult with his wife and friends to determine whether or not to take up any appointment offer from President Bola Tinubu. Mr. Wike will clarify that the president is yet to raise any of such issues with him, however said he is not too big to serve the country. He also said he will want to rest for now after serving as a governor for 8 years.
And now, we bring you news from around the world.
Former U.S. Vice President Mike Pence has officially filed paperwork to join an increasingly crowded field of Republicans running for president. Mr. Pence, who is 63 years old, is set to formally launch his campaign with a video, speech, and town hall event in the early voting state of Iowa today. The move pits him against former President Donald Trump, the man who served in the White House for 4 years, from 2017 to 2021.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
On the news this morning, you heard organized labor has withdrawn plans to embark on strike over petrol subsidy removal. Health workers have suspended their indefinite strike after meeting with President Tinubu. The EFCC has reportedly raided an estate in Port Harcourt. Court has sentenced a pastor to death by hanging for murder. New Speaker of Rivers State House of Assembly Martin Semewele has promised Rivers people laws that will bring about dividends of democracy. President Tinubu has held another closed-door meeting with former governors, including Nyesom Wike, yesterday. On the foreign scene, former U.S. Vice President Mike Pence is set to launch his presidential campaign today. The news was edited by Choma Ezema for Cloudy Weather in Port Harcourt this morning. Peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. Good morning.